Varosha was once the French Riviera of Cyprus, but now it's a ghost town that's off limits to most travelers. To get inside, you must pass 3 military zones in the Cypriot city of Famagusta that are heavily guarded by soldiers and peacekeepers. Varosha was once a luxurious getaway for celebrities in the 60s and once worth $150 billion. Today, it's nothing but crumbling buildings and empty beaches. Nature has completely taken over. Shops were once filled with designer clothes and luxury cars, but today, those shops are filled with rusted remains and piles of dust. Here's a look inside the abandoned resort. Before we take a tour of Varosha, how about a quick history lesson? In the 1960s and early 1970s, Varosha was one of the most visited destinations in the world. High-rise buildings and luxury hotels were being built at a feverish pace as the number of tourists increased. That all changed in August 1974 when the Turkish forces seized control of Varosha and fenced off the area. All of Varosha's residents fled, and tourists were banned from entering the resort. More than $50 million worth of artifacts were looted after the invasion. You'll be one of the first people allowed inside in decades. The resort of Varosha is located deep inside Famagusta city, so you must pass through numerous military checkpoints before you can get inside. Each zone is surrounded by guard towers and fencing. Get your ID ready, and let's pass through the Cypriot Army Zone. Soldiers will make sure everything is in order before they let you into the next zone. This is just the beginning. Next, we have to go through the United Nations buffer zone. The UN peacekeepers will question you and make sure you don't film anything inside. The annual cost of maintaining the United Nations peacekeeping force in Cyprus is $57,390,000 per year, so you know security is going to be tight. Once you pass the buffer zone, you will enter the Turkish military zone. The security here is the strictest in all of Famagusta. Turkish soldiers don't play around. They're going to check your credentials, and if they aren't happy, they'll send you off to jail. Thankfully, we're allowed through. And now we're about to enter the abandoned resort of Varosha. As you stand at the entrance of the resort, you'll notice that Varosha is completely surrounded by a 10-foot-tall chain-link fence. There's no way to sneak in because the top of the chain-link fence is covered in barbed wire. If you try to climb over, you'll be caught in the most painful way. You'll notice signs on the fence warning you about trespassing. Don't even think about trying to sneak in by water either. Even if you swim underwater, the guards will spot you when you reach the beach. There are guard towers at every corner of the resort, and UN helicopters circle around the resort every hour. Fortunately, we don't have to sneak in as we've been granted exclusive access. So let's see what's inside Varosha, shall we? As you walk through the resort, you'll notice crumbling buildings and streets badly in need of repair. Weeds and grass are growing up through the cracks of the pavement. Trees and shrubs that were once perfectly manicured are now growing out of control. As we pass the remnants of luxury hotels, try to imagine what they were like in the 1960s. These hotels were once worth about $10 million each, but today there's not much left but stone framework and debris. If you look to your right, you'll see an abandoned Toyota dealership. In the 1960s and early 70s, this dealership would sell more than $1 million worth of cars in a month. Today, the rusted chassis of Toyota sports cars litter the dealership. The windows of these once elegant cars are covered in thick layers of dust and grime. Let's keep walking down the streets of Varosha and look at some other abandoned stores. You'll notice mannequins in store windows covered in tattered clothes. These shops were once filled with pristine designer dresses and suits, but now there's nothing but dust and rags. When Varosha was a world-class vacation destination, celebrities like Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, Raquel Welch, and Brigitte Bardot would spend thousands of dollars on luxury goods while staying at the resort. Some wealthy patrons would spend $10,000 or more at these luxury clothing stores in a single weekend. Let's step away from the urban decay of Varosha's shopping district and take a look at what's left of the beach. As you walk along the sand, you'll notice a crumbling dock. The wooden walkway is rotting and filled with holes. In the 60s, this beach was bustling, but now all that remains are beach umbrellas with torn canopies and rusted metal frames. Driftwood and debris is scattered along the beach, and buoys block off the water from the rest of Cyprus's coastline. So what does the future hold for Varosha? It might be a bustling beach resort again one day. Turkish Cypriot authorities partially reopened the resort last fall, and tourists are now allowed in limited numbers. There are rumors that the resort may be rebuilt and turned into an eco-city. A team of Cypriots and Famagustians from both sides of the divide even spent $33,000 to create a documentary promoting the plans for an eco-city. Did you know that there is another ghost town close to Varosha? Burj Al Babas in northwest Turkey was designed as a luxury community for foreign buyers, but developers abandoned the project during the last recession. The project cost $200 million, but today nobody lives in the village. All that remains are fairy tale-esque mansions that look like something out of a Disney film. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. What secret location should we tour next?